tell you what, the first shot of the day. Now, the World Handicap system was brought in to make, I guess, golf fairer for everybody and give everybody a chance of playing their best golf. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, and it's not just me who has this opinion. Now, people that I've spoken to, people that I teach, think it's probably one of the worst systems that we've ever had here in the UK. Now, hear me out. We're going to go through an article that has been trending online. But first, did you see that 5-iron I just hit in here, by the way? What a tough hole this is. We teed off, right, all the way back there, and we've just ended up in here. I'm taking that shot. Now, I realise what I just said is very, very controversial, but I honestly do think it is probably one of the worst systems ever, because simply, it just shows what is your form like at a particular time. It doesn't really reflect your overall golf game. Now, as we go through this, I want you to let me know what you think, because my honest opinion, if we're not careful, it really does ruin golf. I understand it from both parties. Listen to this argument. Let's first, though, see if we can make this for a birdie. That'd be a great way to start this video. Really great way. And I want to know your experiences with this new system. Is it one you like? Is it one you hate? Is it one that you're not really too bothered about? Can we make a birdie to start the day? Oh, no, you know what though? Tapping par, windy day, is not a bad start. Now, it is safe to say a lot of these gripes are coming from single-figure golfers. But you've got to think, my argument about the handicap system is that it's fair for everybody. And that's what's unique about our game. Everybody's got a chance of winning, whereas right now, you know what? Now, this tweet does voice some very, very strong opinions. It says this: the handicap system in golf nowadays has ruined club comps. Need over 40 points to compete. The only sport where mediocrity is rewarded. No one should have more than one shot a hole. Now, I don't agree with that. We want golf to be inclusive and want everybody to play the game of golf. But I do sort of get a few points where he's coming from. Now, the general consensus from this tweet is that the handicaps are too high. Not getting into the game of golf, so not at entry level, but being able to win competitions. Now, at your golf club, is that something that you've seen as a high handicap, medium handicap, or even a low handicap golfer? What have you seen? This has to be one of my favourite holes here at Mottram Hall. Now, I want to reiterate, I have no real sides on this. I'm just going for a consensus that the guys that I teach, the ladies that I teach, and the overall sort of feeling in golf right now in the UK. Okay, line-wise today, we want to be sort of on this white and green bush. That's a pretty good spot to be in. Okay, let's see if we can get one down there. Tough wind today, this. Tough wind. He called the tree. He said the tree. Take that every time. Hey, what about that drive, by the way? Now, if we go into this a little bit further, there are plenty of comments. As you can see, there's a lot of reaction on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is one of the points that Sam makes. I played with my dad at Wentworth the other week, and we were off the yellows. He's off 8, and before we teed off, he went up to 13. More than 50% increase. I'm off plus 0.6, and I went up to 0. I'm never beating my dad off that. I played solidly, but had given him a shot on 2/3 of the holes. It just felt mad to me. Now, I can get that. I really feel that the handicap system right now does reward people in that mid-handicap bracket. You could go from being a single-figure golfer, a very good golfer, to getting 13 shots on some golf courses. Now, I appreciate this can work the other way, but there's just part of me thinking there's a better way to do that. Now, there are some new rules being brought in this year, and later in this video, we will talk through the new rules because it really will affect your handicap. But that was a cracking drive. Let's go down this fairway. Now, I bet your first reaction to this is, tough luck, you're a good player, get on with it. And I'll be honest, I agree with you. Part of me does, but there is a big but here. I keep going back to this. Isn't the handicap system brought in in my eyes, where high handicap golfers can always compete with low handicap golfers. But at the minute, potentially there is this scenario which is very much outweighing the fact that now as a low handicap golfer, in this case, some people feel they have no chance. And it's almost like they're turning up on a Saturday, paying their money, realising that they're never going to win. And this is some of the dialogue that carries on in this Twitter row. It says this: Sam said also, you categorically can't win handicap competitions if you have a really low handicap. I'm certainly not in the comp of no one should have a handicap because that's one of the beauties of golf. But it just doesn't feel right to me. Now, just to caveat this, Sam does acknowledge that many golf clubs do offer scratch prizes, but he feels that should be the case in every competition. Once more, sometimes he has to pay an extra fee to enter the gross element of the competition. Now, maybe he's a little bit skewed at his golf club and what happens there, but every time I played as a junior golfer or as an amateur golfer, my golf club had a scratch prize for the day. But I would say this, the main prize of the competition was always won on net. And as a low handicap golfer, I mean, realistically, off scratch, are you going to go and shoot 6, 7 under, which somebody that would be, let's say, off 8, getting 13 shots, shoots 2 or 3 under their actual handicap? Straight away, they're scoring a lot of points. A lot of points. And what I mean is, off their original handicap, not their index of the day. It's all very, very complicated. And there are changes yet coming this year. Right, let's have a look how far we've got. You know what? I was buzzing with that drive. Absolutely buzzing. So, we have 126 to that flag. I tell you what, this is very, very, and I mean very tough conditions today. Like really, really tough. 126 into a breeze. You know what I think that requires? A little punchy 9-iron. Now, so far on this video, are you in the camp of Sam? Are you sort of going, Alex, what the heck are you on about? I want to reiterate again, I'm very neutral on this. I just simply feel that it's not as fair as it could be. Let's see if we can knock this one in close. Need like a little Tommy Fleetwood number here. A little sawn off follow through in there. A little delicate number. Oh, I don't know if that jumped or not. Be the club, please. Get down, do something, be right. Oh, it did jump. It's a little long. That's what you get for finding the rough. Oh dear. And I think the whole summary of what we're talking about here is that the new world handicap system is disproportionately unfair towards low handicap golfers. And again, I go back to this point. A lot of us will go, well, that's just sour grapes. Tough luck, you're a low handicap golfer. You can play scratch comps. But golf's one of them games where everybody, if you have a handicap, you can go out and compete and have a great game. And I believe we're at risk of losing that. And that sounds dramatic, but we really are at risk of losing that if that, let's say again, that single figure handicapper gets a lot more shots than if you're off really low handicap, you go from single figures to early teens. Why not just go back to, this is your handicap, this is what you have? A lot easier in my opinion. And then you have a course standard scratch for the day. And that reflects how tough the course is and the conditions of the day. So let's talk through some of these changes that have literally just landed. But first, this is a tough chip. Wow. Ball is there. Got to cover this to here. Let's see if I can make this par and up and down it. Tell you what, I cannot play a better shot than that. That's probably come out of range on there, but I genuinely can't play a better shot than that. I am gutted that rolled out so far. It was such a good shot. This is so needed. Tell you what, that was a bit of a jumper that. It literally left me no chance. No chance. Can I make it? Come on. Whew. That was big. Really big. And I'll be honest, we only had the World Handicap system now for a very short while, and we're already seeing some updates come through. We can look at this from 2 points of view. One, is it flawed originally? Or two, are golf's governing bodies realising that changes have to be made? And we should, I guess, credit them for that. So to make sure that I fully get these right, I'm going to read out the first change. So it's nice. We're going downwind on the next. But take today's conditions, right? It's tough, it's windy. We now have something called Playing Conditions Calculated, or PCC, which the playing conditions calculation within GB and I has already been modified to increase the likelihood of an adjustment for abnormal playing conditions. Whereas if you look at the first refinement of the World Handicap system, as far as I'm aware, and the people that I was teaching was aware, that whatever your adjusted handicap or playing handicap for the day, or playing index, whatever word you want to use, that was what you got, no matter what the conditions are. Well, how is that fair? If it's really windy and the course is based on me getting a slope of X and then getting more or less shots, and the conditions are harder or easier, that has to be reflected on the day. And that's exactly why we've had that first change, which I think is absolutely brilliant. But that on the old system was the course standard scratch. So look at the average of the scores. Are most people over or most people under their handicap? If most people were over, the course standard scratch, how it was playing on the day, would go up. I think we're just messing with something that doesn't need to be messed with, in my opinion. I mean, I'm old school. I only grew up on that other system, so I only know that. It takes a lot of getting used to. And this best 8 of 20, as I said at the start, it's definitely form. Right, this is downwind. Over that middle tree would be perfect here, Alex, please. Oh, I've ripped it, but it's tight. Please go. Please go. Oh, well, I saw it bounce. I ripped that, but it's pretty tight down there, down the left, with water. Fingers crossed. Now the next change is this, and I'm going to try and read this, drive the buggy at the same time, and try and find my golf ball. It is the enhanced guidance on conducting a handicap review. Now we all know in the past committees have reviewed handicaps, I'm going to say quarterly, maybe half seasonally, just to make sure people's handicap is correct, so you've not got somebody winning all the competitions. Totally understand that. Now there is a new tool that will do this automatically. And this has really affected one of my students, Joff. I'm going to say he's off 12 or 13. He is now off 7 because of the review. He played well in a few comps. He played well in a few comps where actually it was in a 4-ball competition. So all rounds now are counting. And now he's gone from 13 to 7, possibly 8. That is a big chunk, like really big chunk off. So a tool that automatically will tell the handicap committee, we need to review this student. I'd love to know sort of what criteria are needed. Whew. And look, we are safe. It's okay. It's there. And this is what shot we face. Wait for this guy to leave and then we're in. And that nicely leads me into my next point, the inclusion of 4-ball scores. Now, only scores of 42 points or more, where a player has featured 9 times or more, will also trigger an inclusion in the handicap calculation. So if you are playing with you and your mate, right, and you have an absolute blinder, we have 135, and you're on the card more than 9 times, bear in mind that in a scenario like that, you're a lot more relaxed, so more likely to happen, less pressure, less stress, and you play well, your handicap could come flying down. And as I say, one of my students had that exact situation. This is a tough shot. It's not lying very well at all. A little runner up there, I think. A little runner. Be the club, please. Whew. We're dancing. Back edge. Can't get any spin out of that. Because I'll be honest, that is an update I really don't like. Golf, in my eyes, the fun competitions are your 4-balls, your scrambles, I'm all for them. But the true reflection of what level of golfer you are is individual competition. So now if 4-ball scores are being counted, whereas I said a minute ago, we're far more relaxed, we're more of an enjoyment aspect of the game, we all label 4-balls as that, don't we? We do, come on. And that now affects our handicap. Well, I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's happening, it's happened, it's in. That's one change I can't get on board with. The first one, definitely. Second one, maybe a little bit more. I can think about that over time. But third, no. Now, they don't stop there. there is another addition, and as I say, I'm reading this off just so I don't get this wrong, because the handicap system, we've got to make sure everything's right. Now, the next part of this is course handicap using CR-par. Aligning with other countries around the world, course handicaps in GB&I will now be calculated relative to par, rather than simply being based on the slope rating, which has the potential to lower or increase the score you must target to play to your handicap. Depending on the differences between your golf club's course rating and par, this might change. I mean, it's already complicated, and this is the calculation. Course handicap equals handicap index times slope rating /113 plus course rating minus par. What happens to just course rating for the day, stroke index for the day, golf. Tell you what though, I'm happy with that shot right there. It was running like mad. It probably pitched what it did. I'll go into the pitch mark in a second. Now, I think this is a really good time to talk about this handicap system, because we've now had a little bit of the season, the golf season's here, we've probably played 1 or 2 comps to really get an understanding of these rules. How do they affect you as an individual? Go on, please, drop that birdie. Go. Oh, right in the jaws. By the way, how complicated was that next iteration of the rules? I just feel a lot of this is a little bit unnecessary. Okay, now I know they're making these changes to make golf better, make it fairer, make it more competitive, and be more inclusive. I am 100% all for that. Now, there is one final adjustment they're making, and the final part of this is rounding. Now, you used to get your handicap index and it was like, let's say, point something. Now you will not round it to the nearest number. This is what it says. From April 2024, when the handicap system software has been deployed for competitions, the course handicap will not be rounded to the nearest whole number before being converted into a playing handicap, but for general play score submission. The golfer will continue to use the calculated and rounded course handicap. I can also understand if this system is, well, in my eyes, just sometimes really hard to get your head around. Like, really hard to get your head around. Now, so thank you so much for watching today's video here on How Good Golf. What do you think of Sam's tweet? What do you think of the whole consensus of the handicap system right now? I'm a little bit on the fence. I can see it from both parties. We want to make the golf game more inclusive, but it is a little bit, well, by the sounds of it, according to Sam and a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of my students, a little bit disproportionately unfair to that mid to high handicap. They seem to get a lot more when you go out on the golf course. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.